Matt Spencer is here to talk about the Concerned Veterans for America.
She would only give me 10 minutes, and about 3 minutes already gone.
I'm sorry.
I'm not good to ad-lib here, so I got some stuff. Roger was supposed to be here, and he asked me to fill in for him briefly, so bear with me as I read this. I want to get it all out so you know what Concerned Veterans for America is. If some of you don't know, my name is Matt Spencer. I was in the Coast Guard for 20 years. I'm a veteran. Jack, no coastal jokes. And I also ran and was mayor of Somersworth for 2 years. I still don't know how that happened, but anyway, so it's not about me here. It's about Concerned Veterans for America. And who does CVA serve? Veterans and military families who are sick and tired of feeling like second-class citizens in their own system, who have waited and waited and waited for their disability claim, who have called the VA hotline and sits on hold for hours, who waits weeks and even months for basic health care appointments and receives substandard care. Why are we here today? The New Hampshire chapter of Concerned Veterans for America, and this is important. Concerned Veterans for America is not just a small organization, it's a nationally based organization. We're in almost all 50 states. And New Hampshire chapter happens to be the best.
Yay!
Why wouldn't it be?
Exactly. So part of also, we're calling on all citizens, veterans and citizens and advocates of New Hampshire to call on Congressman, delegation, Carol Shea Porter, Annie McLean Custer, Senators Jean Shaheen, and Kelly Ayotte. To support, this is important, support the Department of Affairs, Veterans Affairs Management Accountability Act of 2000.
What was that again?
The Department of Veterans Affairs and Management Accountability Act of 2014. It's U.S. House Bill 4031.
Can you send that to me?
Sure. I also have brochures after if anybody's interested. But it is U.S. House Bill 4031. The sponsor on that is Representative Miller. And in the Senate, it is Senate Bill 2013, sponsored by Mark Rubio. The bill, and this is what the bill is in it. It simplifies process of accountability. It empowers the VA Secretary to fire underperforming managers, specifically members of the Veterans Affairs Senior Executive Service. Those are folks who run the hospitals, lead regional offices, and run entire departments. And not one of them have been fired in years.
Administrative leave.
If ever. And if they do screw up, they're given a reprimand, they're moved, and they're given a bonus.
Wow.
So this bill that's in both is to give the Secretary, again, the same authority that Secretary Gates of the Department of Defense had. You guys remember 2007, the Walter Reed fiasco?
Yeah.
Well, that bill, with that same power that Secretary Gates had, he gave the administrators 2 weeks to clear that up. They didn't. He fired them and put in people that could do the job. Veterans Affairs Secretary General Sinsiski, I butchered his name, but he does not have that same authority. So that's what this bill is about. So that's one of our main causes, is for veterans accountability. And the second one that you guys, I'm going to cut this a little bit short. I ain't going to ad-lib here for a little bit because I did go down to DC, so I know a little bit about it. But the next one is that we're hard on is the Veterans or the Pentagon Accountability Act, which is audit the Pentagon. If you guys don't know, the Pentagon needs to be audit ready by 2017, and they're not even close to being ready. They've had this before, and they've kept passing it, passing the buck, passing the buck. We need to make sure that they're held accountable. For those veterans like us who have served in the military, we know that there are places that they are gouging us. So, with that, I want to go ahead and just say that we are having a picnic on May 29th in Londonderry, the 26th in Plymouth, and August 23rd right here in Rochester.
Just send me all of that.
Okay? And if you would like more information, I'm going to pass around this with a pen. If you could write your information on it, I will get back to you. We have about 12 team leaders in the state. I'm the team leader for the Stratford Seacoast area. So we're kind of lacking. And what we do right now is we're making phone calls on Thursday. We only ask for 1 hour, and we're calling people to conducting survey. It's only a 30-second survey, and this network that the CVA has is huge. So we can work together on issues that we agree on. So that's all I have.
We've got time for question and
I'm
answer
sorry.
I gave for you, so you can, anybody
question?
got
I
any questions?
have a lot more, but I thought I would come short.
Any questions? Well, you
Well-
can talk for another few minutes. then.
We'll post up the dates of those picnics, we'll make sure we get those posted up
Okay.
for you as well.
Yeah, the 23rd of August. And we're also able to, I'm looking for people, again, I'm the team leader, so if people want to contact me, we do have to go through some training, but we don't have to go to Manchester or Concord. We can do phone calls right here. You dial into this dial network, and it just processes the calls.
Wow.
So it's like 4 questions. It's very, very quick. Yes, sir.
How many of these so-called administrators are veterans?
I can't give you a definite answer, but we're trying to weed out all the bad ones. That's a tool we're trying to give the secretary. Unfortunately, the secretary that's there, he hasn't really been doing a good job either. Hi, Mac.
Hi. What do you think of the VA here in New Hampshire? I used them about 10 years back, and they were very good, but that was under a different president entirely.
And that's another great point that Mac makes. This isn't just the entire VA. There's very good people in the VA doing good work. There are some isolated incidences like Phoenix. Have you all heard about Phoenix?
Oh, yeah.
All right. And it's mainly not low-end workers, it's the middle management. Those people that know that they cannot be fired.
We've
And that's what we need to change. We need to get them fired.
You've got one in the back corner.
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, I'm preface my remarks by saying thank you for your service and all the veterans in this room, and Jerry, hats off, great. I wanted to ask if you're connected with the Peace Readers at all, maybe network with them so they know what you're doing and they can help also. You guys have great Peace Readers here.
Great, thank you. Actually, my next door neighbor is a peace greeter. Thank you. Yes, sir.
I'm a member of the State Veterans Advisory Council, and this is one of the things we had at our monthly meeting was members of the VA. They've expanded services in New Hampshire, especially in the mental health area, and I think Rochester now has an outpatient clinic.
Yeah.
So they're expanding. So I mean, I've personally been in the VA system for some time. I've had no problems with Manchester, but I haven't had anything major done there either. They're trying to get the long-term to get that become a full-service hospital again, but you know, that takes time.
Gene promised, it didn't happen.
Right.
Yes, Rob.
Matt, how do they contact you?
They can either email me at Matthew, MATTHEW.Spencer, SPENCER, @Comcast.net, or Roger Wilkins, who Sue has email, but I can also give you, it's rwilkins at cv4a.org.
Just when you just send that information, give me a little bullet list.
Okay?
Then I can just throw it out.
You've got some handouts as well?
Yes, I have some
Anybody
brochures
have-
back there. Yes,
Yeah. I'm a veteran, as you all know, there are a lot of us. How many veterans in the room?
That's a question.
A bunch.
Wow.
All right. If this recent episode didn't convince you of something, I don't know what did. We lost 40 veterans who died simply because they couldn't even get an appointment. And they were blocked from getting appointments. It was intentional. What a disgrace. And I don't think anyone's going to lose their job over it. Personally, I think we need to rethink, us veterans need to rethink the treatment and the VA in total. My personal opinion, I'm married to a wonderful nurse, but my personal opinion is every veteran deserves the very best of care, not the worst of care. And the very best of care should be given to you at the hospital nearest you. You should be able to go to any facility in the state or the country to be treated and have it covered. Okay, there shouldn't be any issues like this. The money that comes through for the VA benefits and the federal dollars should just simply come as a grant, this is me talking, to the states to be disseminated and paid to the hospitals that you want to go to. You deserve the very best health care, and you shouldn't have to worry about traveling to a VA hospital or a VA clinic to get treated. You ought to be able to go down the street. That's just...
My father was a World War II vet. He fought in 9 campaigns, European theater. And when he came home, he wouldn't set foot in the West Haven, Connecticut VA hospital. There were more veterans that died there from World War I than were saved.
Thank you for, my dad also served in World War II. Thank you. Yes, sir?
Disabled veterans. 18 surgeries, VA, they did a wonderful job every time. I think we may have some bad administrators in some areas. I don't think the whole thing's falling apart. Those in Champa say it's still doing fine. That's the retirees. The VA, in my opinion, is still doing a wonderful job. I do not mind driving to Boston for surgeries.
Well, thank you. Again, it's not the entire VA, it's usually the middle management that know that they cannot get fired. They just go with procedures. Like
Back there. Let him, he hasn't spoken yet.
Yes, sir.
Me? Listen, I had a friend of mine, he's 92 years old, Westmoreland, he's World War II, all right? He's a wonderful man. And he never needed the VA until he was at the end of his life, and like 88, 89, he started having needs. And he lived in Brookfield and also in Sarasota, Florida in the summer. And his son wasn't really involved with him, so I helped him make appointments and all that stuff. And it was a freaking nightmare for this man who's not tech savvy. I mean, the freaking phone trees are just a nightmare. For somebody who's 80 or 90 years old trying to go through the damn hoops, it's horrible. And then to have to try to get somebody who has continence issues, a 3-hour drive anywhere, who takes him half an hour just to get in the damn van, let alone try to get in there, get him out. And then in Florida, they were charging him $200 a damn ride to get him to therapy. I mean, it's just insane. So I'm not real pleased about it. So that's that.
Thank you for that.
What we need an answer to that, man, is we need more of us, of course, still capable and able-bodied, to step up to the plate and help a gentleman that needed help like that. One of the issues that they have right now is mental health issues. A veteran is whacked out, walks in, can't see somebody immediately, and goes out and commits suicide. So, I mean, as sad as it may be, they only have so many therapists on hand at a given time. But if we had veterans that would step up and be volunteer for so many hours, a veteran will talk to another veteran, just to talk to them, keep them calmed down until they can get to a professional. But if we could do that, I think if more veterans are willing to step up and put some volunteer time in, it can help.
That's a great point. When I was down in D.C. last month, we went down to D.C. and were advocating to Congress and senators one-on-ones in teams. Like I said, nationally, and I had a gentleman that was on my team who was from Mississippi. He was a veteran during Vietnam, never used the VA, but what they've done is they've created a group, a hunters group, and they're taking out veterans hunting. And what this gentleman told me was exactly what you said. They get them out there and they start talking. They start talking their problems. And there was one veteran that said to him, he goes, if it wasn't for this, I would have committed suicide.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I'm involved with Home Health and Hospice in Merrimack, and they were looking for somebody that's a veteran, because veterans that are in that end-of-life stage, many of them want to have another veteran to talk to.
Yeah. So that's great. If anybody's interested in doing that, hosting a chapter, I can put you in touch with the gentleman who started that. I think that would be great.
Over there.
Yeah, I have a question for, do you know how many of those veterans are on antidepressants that commit suicide?
Oh, probably plenty of them, but if they just had somebody to sit and talk to them while they're waiting, would help. I mean, I've been at restaurants where you can tell as veterans that we got PTSD, and I'll be maybe have a baseball cap on or something, they'll start talking to me because I can equate to it, having been in the zone myself. But they won't talk to anybody else. They won't talk to their family. I mean, I won't even talk about my experiences in Vietnam with other people.
Matt, we have a gentleman here in New Hampshire that runs a program called North 45. His name is John Worrell, and he takes vets up to his place up in Pittsburgh and puts them up for a week or however long their program goes. They've expanded it. He started with a couple of people. He's now up to a dozen or so. So if you need to get in touch with him, his name is John Worrell, and it's Worrall. And if you need to get in touch with him, if you contact me, I'd be happy to put you in touch with him.
Thanks, Karen.
But he is a veteran. He's a wounded vet. He's been doing this, and the whole purpose is to take these men and women, if necessary, to the outdoors where you can relax, you can go fishing, you can go hunting, but you can just get away from the stresses of the world so you can start to talk to your fellow vets. So I'd be happy to put you in touch with him.
My name's Michael. I joined up with the group that was down there in Nevada. I'm originally from Portland, Oregon. A couple things. It's national-wise, just the problems. It's not the nurses, it's not the doctors, it's the management, the people that set the schedules. I am still waiting after a year to find out when my operation, just a minor one, is still going to be scheduled. When they say,
Good Lord.
when they say, oh, it'll be minimum 6 months before you can even get scheduled for your operation, which is I would just have to stay overnight and go home and rest for a week or so. I'm still waiting on that phone call. So, once again, it is not the people that actually care about you and care for you. It is the pencil pushers, the people that just sit in front of a computer all day or have meetings or get to go on trips to have conferences and get everything paid for. It's not the actual hospital, it's the administration. Because I've known doctors, I've known special care providers, nurses that work for the VA, that their heart and soul is into it. It's the administration people, the admin people that are ruining it and costing us time, money, and unfortunately the lives of our fellow veterans.
Mike, will you let everybody know what your job was in the Army?
I was a Army medic. I went to New Orleans after Katrina. I was down there for about 30 days. I'm a Operation Iraqi Freedom veteran myself. Just took care of, as a medic, you take care of everybody. And you're not only just a medic, you're the guy that makes them all laugh. You're the guys that people come to you, pull you off to the side and talk to. And the gentleman that talked about the mental health issues, I'm from Portland. I got a phone call a couple years ago from a fellow vet that knew me and says, hey, there's one of your fellow medics. She's having a hard time. She just got back from Afghanistan. I'm scared for her. So the drive usually lasts 8 to 9 hours from Portland, Oregon to Boise, Idaho. I got there in like 6 hours and 12 minutes. And I talked to her the whole time on the phone. I spent the night, the whole time being with her and letting her just talk. So being able to have someone to talk to is a godsend, especially with someone that has in fact gone through the same stuff that you have, your same experiences, the same mental wear, kind of like the wearing down of your mental toughness, because it does take a toll. And so the fact that veterans understand veterans is very important. And I don't care what I'm doing. If I got a fellow vet that wants to talk, I'll listen. And I'll let them ramble on. I'll be like, yep. Just the fact that they're being able to express themselves and talk about what they're dealing with is so therapeutic it's almost better than actually going to a doctor. And so, you know, I'm here for a while. You know, I love New Hampshire. It kind of reminds me of Oregon without all the liberals. So, you know,
Thanks, Mike.
You're welcome.
Are there any other questions?
I can say after.
I guess we're set. I'd like to thank you first. Yeah. And, I talked to Kimball. He was going to come to Nevada, but there wasn't an ocean. The tide was out. Maybe. Hey,
You're so bad.
It's never gonna end.
Wrong number, Jack.
Hey, I just
Roch912